Minister in the Presidency, Themi Siweya, met with the Community Policing Forum and management of the KG Mall in Emalahleni in Mpumalanga. This in an effort to assess the plans by the management and the CPF to protect infrastructure from violence and looting. The Deputy Minister in the Presidency joins us now to unpack that story for us. Deputy Minister, good evening and thank you very much for your time on In Focus tonight.
Good evening, Thabo, and good evening to the listeners. Always a pleasure to be here.
Is government willing to take responsibility for whatever the CPFs are going to do on the ground? Because you have allowed a situation where they are now providing service to respond to the community needs at this particular time, which is the protection of economic infrastructure.
Very, very important. You'd remember that on the 12th, when the president was speaking to the nation, he appealed that all of us as South Africans, we need to look at banning of infrastructure and looting as a problem, which is going to affect all of us. And he called on all of us to say we need to organize ourselves to protect the brand of South Africa and protect our infrastructure. That is why through the Department of Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation, we decided that as a department, we are going to go and have a conversation with the management of the mall, to have a conversation with CPF. We must also talk with the Taxi Association to say the mall has not been banned, there's not been any crime, but can we have a foresight of planning in relation to what is it that we must do to protect ourselves in case these things pop up or anything happens like that. And we saw it important that we need to have a foresight of planning. Now that shows you that we as government, we remain committed to ensuring that what you have seen in Gauteng, what you have seen in KwaZulu-Natal does not spread in other provinces. And hence we decided that let's have foresight of planning to coordinate our people so that we can be able to work. That is a commitment that we are committed that we are going to be continuing to do it to interact with our people.
So what forms the basis of this partnership in solving the problem?
You know, this is not only a problem which you can look at it as a government problem. It is a societal problem, it's a South African problem. And that is why, for example, we also, beyond having this private conversation, to be told about the plans which they have, which we are going to hold them accountable to say, are you going to do this? The basis is that you also need to go down to the ground. For example, what I was doing today is that we went and we were loud hailing. We went to the communities to talk to our people that you must not agree to fall into a trap of stealing. You must not agree to fall into a trap of vandalizing, because this is going to affect your own economy. That way, when we do it like that, we are making South Africans to be aware that they are supposed to see banning of malls not as a punishment to government, but as a way of that they are also hampering themselves from receiving services. We also went with Brand South Africa to make them remember that the brand South Africa, through your Play Your Part, is a component which says you must be proud to be a South African and you must be happy that you have got infrastructure, and therefore you must want to protect it because it belongs to you.
And so how are your skills and the services that the CPFs are providing, and I say your skills, I'm talking about the police and law enforcement agencies, and what the CPFs are providing, going to complement each other?
Because we are coordinating them to be able to sit in one room. For example, if the management of the mall is there, they are going to tell you, this is the landscape of the mall, these are the exit points. The police will come and say to you, this is how we think we can be able to care. CPFs, in their own nature, they are found in communities. They are going to tell you the hot spots where we think it can erupt from are in this area. And when you put them in one place, they are able to come up with a better solution. The taxi industry, for example, which were part of us, Santako in the province, they are also able to tell us that the concentration of people that we pick up from one area to work, where are they? Because they are based in our communities and they transport our people. Remember, what is important is that our communities, they know each other and they understand each other. We need to just conscientize them to say, even you who are in communities, young people, and that's why we took the National Development Youth Agency, the NYGA, because we said to them, as we loud hail and we interact with our people in their own language, in their own environment and secure environment, you must come and assist us to ensure that we spread a message that young people do not agree to go and loot. Mothers and fathers, we understand the challenges which you might be facing, but banning of infrastructure and stealing is not one of them. Yeah. And the response that we received is that it was so amazing, because when you walk around and you loud hail, you would see people coming out of their house and they are listening. And when we say we're from the Presidency, we are saying to you, take care of your infrastructure. Do not agree to form part of crime. they were really recipient of that. And where we're standing, we're confident that they've set up systems. We can move to another mall, to another shopping complex, engage with our people, go to communities, talk to them in their language which they understand.
Yeah. You know, Deputy Minister, you I understand what you're saying, and you went and you spoke to a community right now which probably has not experienced this looting at the extent to which communities in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng have experienced it. So you've got really angry business owners, for example, in KwaZulu-Natal, who've got a different way of identifying what a looter is to probably what the South African Police Service would use to identify. How do we know we have a joint process of identifying criminal activity, so that just because you look a particular way and I just don't like you, I don't just pull out a gun and I shoot you?
I shoot you. You know, for example, so in the meeting that we had, because it was a private meeting which we did not even allow media to form part of, when we went to do the loud hailing, you'd be very surprised that the forums, the business forums in the communities were forming part of saying, DM, you cannot loud hail the whole township, for example. We have bought our own selves loud hailers. We are also speaking because we are going to be affected. Now, I said to them, what you need to do is that you must then from now on, because they've got daily meetings of organizing themselves and placing themselves, because they also got them all in shifts. What you need to do is that you must go and form part of those meetings, because also the businesses that you are doing here, you know the people, you are better placed, you can coordinate yourself. Us as planning, monitoring, and evaluation, all we can do is to say you must coordinate yourself. We can also do that through brand SA to say be jealous of this brand of South Africa. And therefore, when we have played a role of coordinating you are sitting with a citizen which now understands that we shouldn't loot. No to looting. If you are going to steal, you are going to be arrested. Minister Bekitele has been emphasizing that if you are going to commit crime, we're not going to give you an excuse for that. But the most important thing is that we had to go and speak to our people in their language to explain to them the dangers of vandalizing and burning shops, which is going to affect them severely. They're going to lose jobs. Where they're going to get the essentials which this democratic government has ensured that they come closer to where they are.
Right. And how are you going to monitor then the effectiveness and the efficiency of the services that will be offered by the CPF and center management?
Yeah, I hope I will not be technical with the viewers. So what you do with DPM is that you have a plan. Now, when you have got a plan, you must have a monitoring framework. What we are going to be doing, actually, when we came back, I know the team had started with a monitoring framework. It's some form of a template. Now, when we leave a particular area, in each and every province, you have got a monitoring unit which is based in also the Premier. What they are going to do is that they are going to form part of monitoring that this is the plan that you have said you are going to do, this is the framework. And from the framework, we're going to be able to receive reports, which, by the way, right now we work 24 hours. So it's not that thing of saying our turnaround time is 7 days, for example. It's on a daily basis to say, as we go on and we improve and we get intelligence that this is what might be able to happen, how are we going to sort it out? And by the way, the mall, even though the mall was not vandalized, we got reports that the people in the community already attacked small businesses which were in the community. They were attempting to do that. And the intelligence then picked it up that this is going to happen. And we decided that, no, let us go and engage our people to conscientize them before they can move out of their communities to go and vandalize a KG mall.
Yeah. And how are you going to then ensure that misconduct is investigated on the parts of the CPF? I mean, as much as we are seeing in other provinces where there has been reports of misconduct, which now needs to be investigated. In fact, 20 people are dead in KwaZulu-Natal, to be exact.
We've got confidence. Look, even when we're talking to our people, we're telling them that if you hear that somebody is doing something wrong, please go to the police station. We remain hopeful that South Africans, even the CPFs, I'm not sure why you keep on emphasizing on them that maybe they will not be able to do the work. And by the way, what we must also know is that before they're even CPFs themselves, they are members of the community where they live, and the presidency actually has spoken to NPA to say that when these people are arrested, you need some form of a specialized unit which must be able to process those who who have been charged so that our people can see action. And what we want to believe is that because we have spoken to them, even the police themselves, we have said to them, we remain to have hope in you that you are going to assist. Of course, there are incidences which have happened in other provinces, but what we are hopeful is that because we have engaged them to say, you have taken oath that you are going to serve our people. If you are a CPF, you have committed yourself that you want to protect your community. Now that you have formed this specialized team which wants to address this issue, let us all be faithful about it. Actually, it also starts with myself. That if I've taken oath as a deputy minister to say we want to serve the people of South Africa, we want to continue to work to ensure that we make a better South Africa. Part of it is to ensure that planning, monitoring, and evaluation does it work. We provide political oversight. Part of it is to ensure that Brand SA conscientize our people that respect the constitution, that keep the flag high. Because if you don't do that, then you are going to miss the point that it's so beautiful to be a South African. But also we wanted to share a message that as much as wrong things are happening in Gauteng and in KZN is not so much bad. And that South Africans are people who, if their leaders engage them and you bring them on board as part of a solution, they are very much willing. And we really want to appreciate that. And we're going to continue to go and speak with our people elsewhere.
Yeah, and I'm emphasizing that particular part of the CPF Deputy Minister because that's the conversation we are having tonight with the pressure being put on government to increase security. Because of the lack of that movement, people have taken it upon themselves to arm themselves to respond to the needs that they're seeing in their communities at this particular point. And we want to see if this is going to be a coordinated effort or we are just going to have to be validating some level of informal partnership that will see the CPFs just functioning on their own, doing what they think is the law, while the police just come afterwards and arrest people.
Yeah, you see, what we're trying to address today, and now I'm understanding the topic of today. What we're doing today is to coordinate that planning so that, for example, the role of the CPF is clearly understood and defined by that plan which I was talking about. That the plan will say, on Monday, SACP in the morning will bring a shift of police who are going to do this. The role of CPFs will be to go to the community and do this. Business community, their role is to do this. So each and everybody's role is going to be defined in that forum. And that's why we are going to be continuing to travel throughout the country to say, let us help you to coordinate yourself so that you don't do things in silos and you clash. And that is our role as part of ensuring that we assist our people to have a better plan. And that plan is going to correct some of the concerns which you are raising. So we are a proactive government that wants to continue that. When we listen to the show, every day we're listening to what you're saying as the media. And therefore, we also go down to the ground. And we're going to be coordinating them so that they can have one plan, which is going to have one action plan, and we'll have one monitoring framework thereof. So let's give it time. Maybe we can come and have a conversation again on Monday, and you ask me, DM, you went there, you have coordinated them, how are they doing? I'll be able to tell you that things have improved. Nobody's going to work in silos. That's why I said, because in the private meeting, the business community was not there. But when we were loud hailing, they formed part. I said to them, you must go and form part of their daily meetings there so that you are able to do things together and you share responsibilities and you do not clash. It's part of wanting to solve the problem that you're raising.
Deputy Minister, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for coming through. Deputy Minister in the Presidency there, Themi Siweya, helping us in that conversation. We continue.